Hello and welcome to day two of event calendar. Today we have another beautiful Christmas story for you to enjoy. Please listen to the full story. If you like the story, then you can subscribe to my channel and leave a like to the to my videos. And as usual, you know, until next story, which is tomorrow, stay safe. Peace.
Jack was a retired sailor who had spent most of his life battling the relentless forces of the sea. Now, in his later years, he had found a new home atop the cliffs, alone in an old lighthouse that overlooked the stormy, unyielding ocean. The same fierce winds and roaring waves that had shaped his life outside seemed to echo the grief that had built up inside him. His beloved wife had passed away many Christmases ago, and since that terrible winter, Jack had ceased to mark the holiday. His days were now filled with solitary work, tending to the lighthouse, ensuring its steady beam could guide ships safely through the rugged coastline. By night, he lost himself in the dusty pages of old sea journals, each line a temporary escape from the empty silence surrounding him. On one particularly cold and dark Christmas Eve, a storm of rare fury began to gather on the horizon, the wind howling with a force that shook the lighthouse walls. Jack braced himself for the long night ahead, checking the light one last time before settling into his worn chair, when suddenly, he heard an unexpected knock at the door. Startled and unsure, Jack opened the door to find a young couple, drenched and shivering, clutching their small daughter close. They had been sailing along the coast when the storm struck, smashing their boat against the rocks, and they had barely made it ashore. Though Jack's heart was weathered, the desperate look in their eyes stirred something deep within him. Begrudgingly, he ushered them in, his stern demeanor hiding a growing sense of compassion. The little girl, Rosie, with her wide-eyed curiosity, was immediately fascinated by the towering, winding staircase of the lighthouse and the great light above. She peppered Jack with questions, asking him about his life on the sea, about the stars, and even if he had ever met a mermaid. At first, Jack's answers were brief, his tone gruff, but Rosie's bright smile and boundless wonder began to chip away at his defenses. Soon, he found himself sharing stories he had buried for years, tales of his adventures on the open ocean, stories that even he had almost forgotten. The night wore on, and with the storm raging outside, Jack and his unexpected guests made the best of their situation. They found a small tree in the storage room, scraggly and uneven, but it would do. Together, they decorated it with seashells, driftwood, and old bits of rope Jack had kept for repairs. The room, usually silent and still, now hummed with laughter and warmth as they sang Christmas carols around the fire, the young couple's voices mixing with Rosie's giggles and Jack's baritone hum. Memories of his own Christmases with his wife came flooding back, and for the first time in years, Jack allowed himself to feel the joy that he had long pushed away. As they sat around the fire, Jack listened to the young couple share their dreams for the future, their hopes for a life filled with love and adventure, and he was reminded of his own journey, of the joy he and his wife had found in their own simple, shared life. When Rosie drifted off to sleep by the fire, her little hand clutching a seashell from the tree, Jack found himself watching her with a softness he hadn't felt in years. When Christmas morning dawned, the storm had passed, leaving the landscape glistening with a fresh coat of snow. The young family prepared to leave, grateful beyond words for the shelter and kindness Jack had offered them. As they set off, Jack waved, a small but genuine smile on his face. He watched them disappear down the path, his heart lighter than it had been in years. He knew his wife's spirit was still with him, woven into the memories they had created and shared. That morning, as he returned to his now quiet lighthouse, Jack placed a single seashell on the windowsill in memory of his wife, a symbol of the warmth and love he had rediscovered. And each Christmas after, Jack would decorate the little lighthouse with shells and driftwood, lighting a candle in the window for any weary traveler who might need it, carrying on the light and love that he had found again in the most unexpected of places.